3 each after 4 each. Back up. Pickford stops it, and England win on penalties. History in itself.
This one's for Jordan Pickford, England's #1. He loves this kind of music, so get the rave on. He's from the northeast, he hasn't forgot his roots. He also plays his music before he puts on his boots. A legend in his own right, cat between the sticks. Get the rave on, listen to the mix. Respect to you, my friend, and this is what I send. I've got a message for you, keep on raving to the end. Keep on raving to the end, keep on saving to the end. JP and the England boys, we will defend. Keep on raving to the end, keep on saving to the end. JP and the England boys, we will defend. So, come on England, bring the World Cup home. The nation is behind you, you are not alone. It's coming home, we're all in this together. We believe, you believe, don't care about the pressure.
Big shout out to the Amanda. Washington Posse in the house. You ready? New Monkey Massive. I said now back, explosion, everybody's dead. What a catastrophe is what's being said. So my job as a wicked MC is to wake up the crowd and make them get lively. So I say, who is this to see? Where's the cooking, where's the speed, now everybody's busy. Wait until the kicking of the buzz. You will see what ecstasy does. R-O-N and the fucking E said. MC Ronald's in the place, he's off his fucking head. You ready? R-O-N and the fucking E said. MC Ronald's in the place, it's easy. Easy, it's PC on the mic. MC Ronald's day and night, see night and day. Check out the Bambo DJ with the steel. Alert, fucking on me, mighty fine, bustin' with the bassline.
DJ Batman has the first in the place. On top of the show, that's good. We're going to take you to the top of this one. MC Energize, MC Melody, and DJ Slidey.
E to the N to the E to the R, the G, I, Z, E. Energize on the microphone. Respect. E-N-E-R-G-I-Z-E-R-N-D-G-U-R-E.
Feel the vibration now, party people listen down. Keep something on the floor till your feet don't take no more. Put your hands up in the air, keep the motherfuckers there. There ain't no time to waste, there ain't no time to spare.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Roker Rapport podcast. The nation's favourite team are doing great and looks set one of their most successful summers ever. Also, England beat Colombia last night. Today I'm not only joined by Miss Blythe 2009 winner Connor Bromley, I'm also graced with the presence of Miss Moscow 2018 winner James Nichols, and joining me, Miss and Miss, is Chris, Cam that is. How are we doing, lads?
Yeah. Good. Hungover, happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Connor, yeah.
I've just been
skipping around Sunderland Town Centre all day.
Nice.
Absolutely loving it.
It's not got anything to do with the match, it's just like
No,
a
I'm
skip.
just
Yeah, it's just a
fantastic.
routine thing for Nichols.
You know that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's just prancing through the country lane? That's me
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. So Connor, how do you feel knowing that Miss Moscow there has upstaged you with a more prestigious title, one more recently?
I can't actually see him actually because of the monitors, but
That's okay. Well, Nichols assume he's grimacing at you right now.
Yeah,
Because I assure you he is.
Just always assume he's in a natural state of furious at you
Yeah.
at all times.
I think
Absolute incomprehensible fury right now.
I think ultimately Nichols is a better transvestite than me, and that's
Well,
really
to be honest,
what the win is.
I can't argue with that.
Nichols has got bigger tits as well. So.
I don't. What?
I can't verify that.
In order for a podcast to go off the rails, it has to be at some point on the rails. So if
Yeah.
we allow, like,
Yeah. Our train's not been on the tracks
The
from
McCain
the
train
get-go.
is not
The
going.
McCain train was derailed from the get-go.
See, I have you that hosting role today, and you've let everyone run loose. See,
Yeah,
I
well,
want to tight
see,
ship me.
I feel like it's better let loose. You know, I feel
Connor's
like
famous for his strict,
Yeah.
sensible podcast.
Yeah, you keep us all too.
You're a
too
teacher
well
in training.
I am, but you are not my pupils, so you can run amok, and that's totally
Imagine
fine
if
by
your
me.
teacher said that to you. You are not my pupil.
You are not my pupil.
I
yeah.
have no pupil.
Anyway, let's kick things off with a 3-word review to try and get things on the rails for the first time in the first.
If it's not all it's
Minute
coming
of
home,
this.
I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, not all of them are, but the majority are.
I think
Well, not the majority. It's the most frequent one that occurs. So anyway, yeah, today we asked on Twitter for the good people of Sunderland and beyond to basically reduce their thoughts on last night's game to a 3-word summary, as per the title, obviously, and this is what they've come up with. Mark Darby says, it's coming home. Dylan Parry says, I love Pickford. Bury Me in Exile, our fellow fan blog who cover Bury FC, say, must play better. Bit devil's advocate, but we'll play on. Steve 2013 says, it's coming home. Michael Bowers says, rave on Pickford. Jordan Mars says, I'm very hungover. Yeah, you and me both.
Yep.
G Lang 17 says, send them in. Dave Dano, I'm going to say Dave Dano. Dave Dano says, Black Cat Hero. Hannah Brown says, it's coming home. Kenneth Bowmaker says, Pickford Mackham Hero. Someone called IB7 says, England's #1. Rory Hanley says, limbs all hour. Big Bad Baz says, Henderson Pickford proud. Carl Lawson says, proud of lads. Robbie Prince says, Colombia anti-football. Martin Wigham there says, Pickford is God.
It's like Chief. Is that Martin Wigham? Is that Chief Wigham's son?
That's
called
Ralph. That's Ralph. Yeah.
Oh no, Martin's the dopey kid who's the bright kid who's in Lisa's class.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Well, yeah.
Back
nice little tangent, but yeah. Mr. Wishy Washy says Sir Jordan Pickford. Matthew says never in doubt. Kyle Wilson, a good friend of mine, little shout out, says ball tingling close. And SAFC supporters says it's coming home. So anyway, it seems to me as if, I'm sure you're all also in agreement, there's a very common theme there. We all think football's coming home, and we all think that Pickford is the herald of that reality. So let's get into the game itself. Are you sharing the sentiments of these three-word reviewers, Nichols? What are your thoughts on the game? Do you think England played well, and can you see football coming home yourself?
I mentioned last night, a game like that, it's not so much about performance, it's about just getting through. Colombia's whole tactic was just to stop the flow of the game, stop how England played. And sorry, can I just move the monitor and it really put me off for a second?
Yeah, Connor's whimsical smile has put Nichols off, you know.
Just imagine you're trying to deliver a speech, that's really important.
Many have fell victim to that lovely
Connor's
grin.
face just pops up.
yeah. But I just thought it was the way that the maturely, it was a little bit when they got involved in Colombia's little showcases of stupidity, but for the majority of it, from a young side, to show such maturity, I was really impressed. And just to get through that game was so difficult. Even I think it was full time or half time when the Colombia assistant or coach, whoever it is, just barged Sterling for absolutely no reason. They were just literally there just to shithouse England. They didn't even try and play. They realised Hammers was going to be out from the start, so it was just very South American tactics over there. It's it's just accepted over there. A player goes down, the referee's going to blow. It's not diving, it's not cheating. It's about doing what you can do to win, and that's all it's about. So it's just a clash of cultures.
Did you see them as well, try it when unhinge the penalty?
Yeah,
the penalty
Mojica just stabbing the penalty spot. And then
watching Kane when he scored that though, that was just so cathartic. I absolutely went mental.
Best is when Dyer scored and Stones and Maguire's just giving it the big end to all the Colombia players, especially that Barrios, before they run over and celebrate. I love that.
How Barrios remained on the pitch, he's just beyond me. It's a red
was
card.
He the headbutter?
And then he had 2 or 3 challenges that were worthy of yellow throughout the game after that one as well. He was just remarkable.
Even if you don't connect with violent conduct above the head, even if you don't connect, if you show intent and it's above the neck, it's a red card.
There's no grey area with a headbutt in the box like that. It's a red. Or,
and then
you either bottle it or you don't. With that, you don't give a yellow.
And then Falcao's got the goal to come out post match and say that and Tino Esprit as well, saying that he's just a mark, but Falcao saying the referees on England's side. Are you kidding? Are you absolutely joking? The way Colombia went on, the 3 or 4 of them could have got red carded for dissent alone.
Oh yeah, Falcao could have been booked 4 times just for shouting at the referee. I know he's captain and he's supposed to have that little bit extra licence.
He's the one supposed to be controlling these players.
Yeah, that's why I always felt sort of not necessarily confident of us winning, but proud of us either way. Because I feel like the way we did display ourselves, in the sense of there aren't many teams at this tournament that would have played any better than England did against that Colombia side.
They're a good defence as well.
Yeah, Colombia defensively are so well structured. Going forward, they're really dangerous, and they just didn't go forward until the last 15 minutes, and which confused me a bit because I'm not mad at Colombia for playing the way they did and kicking us and winding us up, because that was their choice, that was their tactic they decided to employ, and it very nearly worked. The only thing that England could have done to avoid it was hope the referee could have shown a bit of backbone, which he didn't, and then keep their cool and just grind it out and show that character, which they did do, and fantastic.
I thought actually Young was key to England yesterday.
Yeah, Kane as well. I thought Kane did so well.
With Young, it's not even how he played; it's his maturity on the pitch. That's why he's there. It was when Stones got properly snapped in half in the halfway line. and he like kind of brushed his leg up against whoever it was. Is it possibly Falcao?
It was Falcao. He sort of,
yeah.
His leg was sort of going past him, and he decided to sort of accelerate as he went past.
Like it was just like one of those that happens in football, and then Ashley Young straight over just pulling the England players away, just like, look, don't get involved. Don't get involved. Just let them go on the way they are, and the referee's going to at some point empathise and sympathise with you, which he did.
And that was the difference between England and Colombia. Is England's old heads? I mean, Kane counts as an old head in my mind.
Yeah, he was
only
brilliant.
24.
Yeah, but comparably he's an old head.
Kane, Henderson, and Young. Those three. Even though Henderson did have a little niggle at one point.
I was about to say that, yeah.
The three of them, they were cool, and they were the ones who reached out to the other players and told them to pack it in.
Kane
calm
led
down.
the line. He was captains before.
Whereas Colombia's older players, Falcao and that, they were just as tilted.
Cuadrado as well, when he barged Maguire in the corner flag for no reason.
See, Cuadrado, that was like, he knew what he was doing then. He wasn't like, he wasn't mad or upset. Like, he didn't do it because he was angry. He did it because he knew he could have got into his head. Yeah.
That's what the whole game was. It was basically just that Colombia are a very experienced side, and there's been very little changes. Like the last 8 years, like Falcao's basically never present. Over the last 4, Cuadrado, James Rodriguez, Quintero, they're all like ever present in the side. It's only really the 2 centre backs, so the youth and who came in recently, Mina and Davinson Sanchez, both are
Davinson Sanchez
early 20s.
was absolutely superb.
He was
deserved to lose. He was, I mean.
So was Mina, as much as I hate him.
Mina was.
You can take nothing away from either of those two, in spite of.
2 of them were excellent. Like, I mean, Mina for the goal as well. His positioning, he's just sheer athleticism to score that goal was superb. But Trippier should have saved it on the line. He made as much himself as well.
You would have thought so, really.
It's a shame for Trippier that as well, because I thought he had a really good game. He got through him a good couple of times. That's because of his pure pace. But if Trippier's holding up a man 1-on-1 on the edge on the byline, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to back Trippier.
Yeah,
he's the best fullback I've seen beating a winger 1-on-1 defensively. Ability to stop the winger since like Gary Neville, ironically also from Bury.
I think it's startling as well how much fright them set pieces are having on teams. Like Colombia, for me, actually did well on set pieces yesterday. If they'd played the set pieces properly, particularly for the Harry Kane goal, where they just essentially just manhandled them to the floor, but they were actually defending them really well, and then they made a stupid mistake where they panicked. And
there was this one where the ball came in from the left hand side, and it was like sort of coming inwards towards the back post.
Head.
And Maguire and Kane, both of them would have scored, and Sanchez, out of literally nowhere, came up and headed it clear.
I was impressed by Mina's pieces as well. Like Mina didn't. Like, everyone in Colombia man marked, so we had the whole like train at the back, whatever Alan Shearer likes calling it, the gravy train or some shit. The 4 players,
love train or something.
Love train, that's it. Yeah,
love train.
And it's like 4 players like at the back, so they man marked them, but Mina had a free role. He was basically just there to attack the ball. Like I've seen a lot of Premier League teams do that, like Crouch always at Stoke does that. You just get your best out of the ball, do what you want, just attack the ball and get rid of it. And I think he'd done that like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, it's a good luxury to have, because obviously England, they identified England as set pieces not playing that way, which is fair enough. When they sorted it, I felt like England's set pieces weren't as effective just purely because we didn't execute on the very end of it. Like Maguire had like 3 or 4 handful of opportunities to head it either on target or back in the area, and he just missed his header basically. Yeah, but that's fine, because I thought Maguire as well, I want to like highlight him because he was just
absolutely superb.
Yeah,
so
he had a rocky game against Tunisia. Panama didn't matter because he didn't do anything.
No.
But Tunisia, he was a little bit like, because I really backed Maguire before the World Cup, thinking he's going to be the man. He's that final centre half that we need, because he's good on the ball, he's fantastic in the air. But then he was unsure against Tunisia, and obviously that was nerves. But last night against Colombia, when he was getting,
had Falcao in his pocket. Yeah, really dominant.
Yeah.
The amount of times
he really did well.
I know, like in the second half of extra time, when we just like penned them back. And Vardy really got at Mina, because Mina was picking up an injury, so Vardy every single time was making runs in behind Mina, and he really dragged them all over the pitch and stretched their defence. But it was key, because every time they tried to get the ball away, it was always hoofed up. And I think Maguire must have won it like 4 or 5 times.
Every single time it came, it was like Colombia didn't realise he was there, and they didn't click on that. Every time they put it that way, Maguire was the one winning it. Because I was worried before the game. I saw our back three, and I thought all they need to do is put Cuadrado on Maguire's side of the pitch, and he'll do damage, because he'll end up with Young stuck up the field and Cuadrado going at Maguire, and you don't like that matchup. But he did really, really well. You never saw any sort of
very well as well.
Yeah, I love our defensive shape. Like, not to bore everyone, but I feel like going forward is fine. We sort of improvise, and that's great. But defensively, I love our organisation. I love the way we play. Like the back three comes across, makes a back four, whichever wing back is there, and then
drops deep.
Yeah, and then if it goes over the other side, the centre midfielder with Henderson, he comes across, and we always double up.
What's interesting,
it's so like systematic how it sort of comes together like
it's
that.
So
and like, as you say, like it is maybe, more of like a boring sort of niche tactical point to make, but the way it moves as a unit, our defence, as if it's sort of one mind.
Oh yeah,
in that sense of the word,
it's so well rehearsed.
Yeah.
I mean, can you remember the last time any of us watched any sort of team that we support with that level of organisation?
Structure.
I only support Sunderland, and our 3 at the back last season was
horrible,
less than enjoyable to watch.
Horrible.
So
Yeah, they've showed you exactly how to do it. Like, it's the midfield as well, which impressed me, because I didn't think Ali or Lingard had the best of games in an offensive wise, but defensively I was very impressed. I was really, I enjoyed how, because Henderson's the central player and he's the one who sits deep and he's the one who anchors. But it was interesting how many times Ali or Lingard were willing to drop into the central position to let Henderson out wide, and they really pulled off their roles. Like, they were so disciplined.
You can see it's exactly the same. The two of them, their like awareness of the game and their like intelligence is just so on display. Because Henderson knows his job's almost simple in the sense that he keeps an eye on the centre half's job is whichever wing back has trouble, one of them goes over and helps.
And covers, yeah.
If one of them can't go over and help because they're tied up, Henderson goes in and helps. So all Henderson has to do is watch where his defenders are, and then he goes and matches that, and then all Ali and Lingard have to do is watch where Henderson goes and fill in, and it drops back, and then you end up seeing Kane and Sterling. They look like they're really deep.
It's very fluent.
It's really part of the system, and then when we get the ball and go back forwards, suddenly everyone moves as one. Like,
I can see why he brought Eric Dyer on for a bit of defensive stability, but when he actually brought Dyer on, it got worse, because he slows the game down too much, and he doesn't really have the, I don't know if it's stamina or pace or what, I don't know, but he just doesn't cover the way that Ali and Lingard do with Henderson. And we actually got better when Walker had to go off and Dyer had to drop into the back 3.
Yeah, I think that was just what I was interested.
I was like, Walker, for me, I like the way the back 3 is shaping up nicely, but Walker's got like question marks. He's got like a mistake in him. He's not, I think because he's used to playing right back. I mean, he's never ever played centre back, to be honest.
No.
You put him in that right centre back position, and he can't afford to make mistakes. Like, he can at right back, and he's making one a game, which and it's not many, but at this level, you can't afford to make it. When Dyer when Dyer goes in there, when Dyer goes in there, though, we just looked a bit more, I don't know, against the bigger teams. I just wonder if that's the better teams, if that's the way to go.
I'd personally keep Walker.
I'd keep Walker, because that, like, Maguire's proven he can handle it. My fear with the back 3 was, like, as you're saying, I agreed, like, Dyer in the back 3 would make sense, because obviously he's got that strength.
It's an option,
he reads the game better as a centre half than Walker reads the game as a centre half.
Yeah, he's more stable.
I think in a team of players that are playing in positions they so often play for the clubs, Kyle Walker stands out massively in that respect, because as you say, he's played, for me, a full back and a centre back are very much exclusive positions. There's a lot of different the key attributes of, I mean, they might be adjacent to each other on the pitch, on like a tactical formation board, but the key attributes you need for each are very different. A centre back is obviously the ideal centre back is like a large sort of physical unit, whereas your full back or your wing back is someone who's maybe a bit smaller, a bit speedier to overlap with the winger, definitely. Or and obviously if Kyle Walker's playing in a position that's very fundamentally different to the one he normally plays in, then he is almost, for me, entirely out of position.
See, I don't think it's that fundamentally different from if you get Kyle Walker at Tottenham, absolutely, that's a completely different player. But Kyle Walker at Man City under Guardiola's system, it's not really a traditional back 4. It's kind of like an old school WM, where the fullbacks, even though they've got 2 of the fastest and most effective fullbacks in the world, they cut in deep, they cut into the sides, and they kind of push forwards a little bit, so he's kind of already playing like a right central defender in a 3. It's strange how Man City play, and they play very narrow and allow Sterling and Sane to provide the width and cut in behind the defences. So that because of that, and the way that Kyle Walker's developed with his ability on the ball, like, he's so much better on the ball than he used to be, like, and not in terms of like beat a man, whip it in, do someone for pace, but just genuine technical ability, the short passing ability to see your pass. He's developed so much under Guardiola, and I don't think he's that fundamentally out of position. I think because of what Guardiola's done. The issue
he has is experience. So decision making. He admitted it in the first game against Tunisia when he gave away the penalty. He said it's because he himself admitted, like, it's because the ball came over the top, and
he had him on the wrong side.
He didn't know what to do. You had the player on the wrong side of him, and he wasn't like sure of what to do. Like, Trippier gave him the shout to say leave it, and Walker didn't, like, it threw him for a loop because he didn't do what an off would have done, which is just
back to him as well.
He
should have just faced him up, stood to the side of him, keep him on his side, on his shoulder, and knows exactly where he is.
That's the type of experience you'd get as a young player going out on loan, but Walker's getting that experience in a World Cup, which is a risk.
The mind of a centre back isn't there.
That's definitely,
is it?
I just worry going further into the tournament. I mean, maybe not so much against Sweden, but if you play against Croatia or something, he might get sort of not necessarily found out, but if there's going to be a mistake in that back line, it's him who's going to
somebody like Mandzukic, who's a smart player who plays like just like that inside left role as well, always cuts off to the left. Will Mandzukic will target Walker. So if you look at Croatia, because I think Maguire's proven against Colombia that we don't need to worry about him. No, not at all.
Being beaten for pace or trickery by a player like that. He can handle them, which I think is such a huge thing for England to have a player in the back three and do that. Walker on the other side is exactly the same. He's not going to get done because he can defend like a fullback if he needs to. So if he was coming up against Croatia and they try to play a through ball into Mandzukic, Walker would be able to read it because he's done that before. Great. Difference is if you had Dyer there, then they couldn't play those balls over the top to Mandzukic because you'd end up with Dyer, who would understand how to mark Falcao. Whereas for Falcao, Mandzukic just enter your big shithouse centre forward here, if you've got Walker in that position, the ball comes over the top, then suddenly he's at a disadvantage because the guy he's come up against is a lot more experienced.
One mistake as well, and he's in.
Whereas
you got to focus. Like I remember,
Croatia are that clinical that they can do that.
They will. Like I was reading a Players Tribune article, and it was Jerome Boateng saying what he thinks is the most important aspect of defending, and he said the most important thing is like concentrating, being able to concentrate for 90 minutes because if you make that one error, they're in behind and it's basically your fault. It's the same as goalkeeping. That one error is always on show more than say like a striker or a midfielder. They can make a few and it's not too bad. So Kyle Walker done that. I mean, his lack of concentration to not realise that there's a Colombia player right on his shoulder to give it away if Cuadrado's shot was just a bit poor. But it was another part that I was worried about where there was a ball into the box, into the edge of the 6-yard box, and Walker kind of like, instead of like jumping up with his arms down his side, he let his arm flail up high, and like that defender, as a defender, you just don't do that. You keep your arms down by your side, or you tuck them in like that, so your arm doesn't fly out and risk a handball. That's where he just doesn't know like the ins and outs of being a central defender.
No, defensive positions in football in general, defender or goalkeeper, have that really cruel reality where you can play 89 minutes of flawless defensive work, but then one mistake that costs you the game
Tight as bramble.
is that one minute in which you make a mistake is the only minute that really matters come the final whistle if your team is a goal down or concedes a goal when they were ahead. I mean, I remember when I played in goal when I was 11. You know, like currently, that's it's funny now when you look at my big 5'8" frame. But in my youth, I stopped growing when I was 13 and I was 5'8" then. So like in my youth, I was a fairly stocky young man. But I was a little bit shit like. But basically, my old coach said that, like, mind you, if you want to be a keeper, I'm going to warn you now that it's probably the cruelest position to play in because you can have a flawless game, but then you get one thing wrong and everyone's going to hate you for it. And I was like,
it's true.
I mean,
in the direction of
I was wondering why we hated you.
my team must have first game 11-4 when I was 12. I think. Oh no, when I was 13, and I played particularly bad that game. I remember.
I think going forward for England is a concern because. As we're talking about the organisation, the structure defensively, I don't think we've got that same structure going forwards, which it's you can sort of get away with because you can rely a bit more on the likes of Kane and Ali to make a difference going forward.
We're lucky we've got a set piece, I think.
Yeah, the set piece is going to be huge for us.
I worry about us trying to break down a defensive unit, which is basically what Sweden are. Sweden are just 10 big guys behind the ball.
Isn't it weird though? Like, we've got on paper the attacking quality we have is frightening, but yet so far we don't look like scoring a goal from open play.
I think that's just World Cups. World Cups are always tepid. It's always like the odd set piece or whatever that takes you through it.
Extra time started off, obviously the first half of extra time you could see they were all absolutely just shell shocked and they couldn't believe what had just happened. Gary Neville nailed it in punditry Friday TV, just said it's not physical, it's totally mental.
It's not about being tired. Every single player on the pitch is tired at that point.
They played poorly that first 15 minutes because they were absolutely knackered. You could see Southgate got them in, they all had a chat with each other and it worked because they came back that second off and they because I think Southgate got them in. He brought on Vardy, he had these midfielders in, he had everyone structured in a certain way, they knew what they were doing, they knew the roles, they were just not concentrating, they weren't doing it properly, and he got them down. He said, listen, this is simple, alright, we've got an injured centre half, we've got a player who won a Premier League title by running at people who were slower than him. Let's just pass the ball to him and just pass it into those channels, and you can see we did it. Numerous occasions. Henderson moved away from the anchor role and played a bit more like Lingard and Ali had in the first half and took the ball on the wing a bit, a couple of nice link-ups with Rose.
It was interesting the role Rashford took because he started very deep.
Yeah, and Rashford was a bit odd.
I think that was basically just get legs in the middle.
He ended up sometimes at centre-back.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Yeah, it was loads of time. He was pretty much playing anchor at times as well. I think that was Southgate's idea of just get some legs in the middle and just try and counteract Colombia keeping the ball and pinning us back like they did at the end of in the second half in this extra time.
Kane did as well. Kane in the extra time.
shattered.
Once Vardy came on, Kane like dropped into like centre mid. He was like often trying to find the ball.
It's the way you have to play when you go Vardy in your team. You can't have like if you're gonna have Kane on the pitch, he just has to stand on a centre half and nod the ball towards Vardy because Vardy has to be the main man if he's playing. It's his game. You can't really. That's why he's not starting.
If he's not running, he hasn't really got a purpose. Vardy,
he hasn't got a purpose. If you're 1-0 up, if you're 1-0 down, you can't bring Vardy on because if you're 1-0 down, then they're just going to be sat back defending. He's useless. There's no point in having him there.
With Kane as well, I might be reading too much into it. I don't know. Maybe he was just knackered, but. When Kane's on the pitch, Colombia man mark Kane. Like Colombia were all over Kane. Every time he had the ball, there were 2 or 3 on him, fouling him. So if Kane drops deep, their defence is naturally going to push up to go with Kane.
You get space.
So you get space for Vardy in behind. So possibly that was.
Do you think that was Kane just being intelligent, thinking I'm too tight to battle with them anyway? So let's see if we can suck them out and make some space.
I mean, he is. I think Kane's world class, and I think he is smart enough to think about that. But I think it helped because he was knackered. To be honest.
One interesting thing, selection-wise, anyway, in the next game is Lingard. I think he was like possibly our poorest player yesterday. I don't know if that's me being harsh.
No, I agree.
I wouldn't change much, me, unless forced.
The thing is, though, is Lingard, he's on a yellow card, so you're going to have to think about that because it'll not get wiped until afterwards. But I just wonder if against Sweden, if you, I don't know, you maybe put somebody like Loftus-Cheek in who's a bit more physical than him. I don't know if that would work better because you'll have that extra, I don't know, physicality against a team that, as you say, is strong and very physical themselves.
I don't think. I mean, I look at the England team. To be fair, though, we're a very physical team as well. I look all the way through the team, and every single one of them is tough. Like Henderson's tough. You got the back three; they're all tough. I mean, Walker's hard as nails. Trippier doesn't need to be tough where he is. Young doesn't need to be tough where he is. Even Sterling's tough.
Still a good centre of gravity with Trippier. Typically off the ball.
Trippier got that Hazard level of dribbling where he just seems to keep the ball glued to him. But then you look at even Sterling. He's been getting kicked his entire career, and he knows how to handle a team like Sweden. And I also think when Sterling's on the pitch, England are a better side, despite the fact Sterling hasn't particularly played individually very well.
Physical kicks from players, mental kicks from the Daily Mail. He takes them all, man. He's a trooper, that lad.
I just feel like he is a bit of a scapegoat at times.
He puts up far too much. Like
that run to release Lingard, the pass was perfectly timed. The run to release Lingard, the counter attack was absolutely brilliant. And
is that the one where Lingard fell over when he shouldn't have?
Yeah, when he kind of tripped over Sanchez's foot, half pen, half.
I also found with Sterling as well, when England are playing poorly and we're playing slowly, people shout out like, "Somebody just get the ball and run at them." Yeah. Sterling is 100% of the time that player who does it. He always gets the ball and runs at them. When he came off, there was a noticeable drop.
He creates space for Kane as well, which is vital.
He does. Yeah,
Sterling is really, really important to this England team, and he's going to keep starting because.
Like there was a disgusting Daily Mail article on literally the stroke of the full time.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it was like, Raheem Sterling hasn't scored for England in 1,000 days. It was just like, fuck off.
It's like we've literally, we've just overcome the massive generational mental hurdle of winning on penalties. Yeah. We're through to the quarterfinals, and all you want to do is attack Sterling.
Yeah.
It's the same with Pickford.
All you want to do is just stir, baseless hatred on this lad.
Can we not just talk about the fact that we've had an England goalkeeper, the youngest goalkeeper ever to go to a World Cup with England, and he's the only one to win a shootout? Yeah. Instead of focusing on the fact that Raheem Sterling's a successful black man, and that's literally essentially the Daily Mail's problem with him. Yeah. He's a successful black man, and that's literally why they don't like him. It's disgusting.
It's an old propaganda machine stuck in its old ways, which sadly entails racism.
Why we're getting it's not just Sterling, but Pickford's getting hammered. Why does he get hammered?
He's not getting hammered anymore.
No, not now. But even during the game, it was one of the ITV presenters tweeted.
It's only really Courtois been giving him crap.
But she was tweeting "Oh, why did he save it? Had he not saved it, it would have just went out for a goal kick." And I was like,
"You don't leave it. You don't take that chance.
Don't risk that." But it was going in.
I'm sick of all these not goalkeepers giving their opinion on goalkeeping. Yeah. I bet if you looked at I bet there's somewhere. I don't know why you came to mind. Somewhere Tim Howard was watching that football match. I don't know why you came to mind, but Tim Howard watched that match absolutely fuming at the treatment of
David Priest as well. David Priest is a football pundit. He's a really good pundit. He's a massive Lads fan as well, actually. And he's been furious over the tournament about the way Gary Neville, Lee Dixon. What the hell do they know about goalkeeping? They've got Mark Clattenburg in, who was a bit partridge, but Clattenburg was he was there to pundit refs. They get Howard Webb in on BT, whoever it is, to pundit referee decisions from a refereeing viewpoint. Goalkeeping is such a complete different position to anything else in football. Why don't they get goalkeeping pundits in? like Priest, because he's really good. He knows what he's talking about as well. And when he like done an article talking about Pickford's saved or the other hand thing, he's saying his problem wasn't the other hand. You go with that hand because you can get more thrust and more power on that hand. Goalkeepers all over the world do it. There was other problems with his game, like he didn't take a step to thrust his dive. That's why he couldn't get up top. But like they're just talking about things that they don't know.
Yeah, asking a outfield player to commentate on a goalkeeper is like asking a squash player to commentate on tennis. You know, they've got a vague idea of the of the similarities, but they don't know exactly.
It's like asking a Sunderland player how to win a football match.
It's like they play on the same pitch as football.
Yeah,
but
they're
don't actually
not doing the same thing at all.
Yeah. So anyway, right. So we're all very much content with how England have done. We're all probably in agreement, although we've not asked, that we're going to beat Sweden. You know, we don't want to be too complacent, but I imagine that we all.
Last night was a harder game than Sweden.
It should be a harder game than Sweden.
We'll grind it out. I mean, if we do win, it'll be because somebody like Lingard's gone down in the box and won a penalty, or we'll win on penalties again. It's not going to be
lining up with Toivonen and Seb Larsson. Larsson missed the last game; he was suspended, so he'll be back in. You know, look at them two. Jobbers,
them two, I'm going to hang myself off the Weir Bridge.
Oh, nah. Imagine if like Seb Larsson puts in a corner for Ola Toivonen.
Seb Larsson's going to score a free kick, isn't he?
No.
Big Ola T on the end of a.
I've seen his goal against Germany.
Big Ola T over the shoulder of Kyle Walker. You can see it now.
Toivonen
in my mind's eye.
Gets in behind, chips Neuer brilliantly. He was shite for us. Absolutely shite.
I was.
Did nothing. He done that one, the header when we lost 4-1 at home to Man City.
Honestly, that's the only time I've watched football and just burst out laughing. When I saw that, I was like,
utterly awful.
I was really happy for him, to be fair, but he never even looked close to doing that for us at any point. This is a man whose highlights can be summarised with one through ball to Jermaine Lens.
The pass to Defoe, which was like literally a 5-yard pass for him to bang it in the top corner against Villa. That's literally all it was, a 5-yard pass.
That was good though.
No, it's like Altidore. I always remember Altidore really, really fondly for Sunderland because he laid off the ball for Barini to score that goal against Newcastle. That in my mind is what Altidore did for Sunderland.
Yeah, you laid it off. Don't matter how you do it, as long as you do it. So
the commentator as well, where he's like, "Oh, what a touch by Altidore!" He just like fumbled the ball by accident.
It was just a huge
It was art.
So yeah, England need to beat Sweden. Pickford needs to have outfield players need to leave Pickford alone. Daily Mail need to leave Sterling alone, and football needs to come home. So let's table England for now and move on to Sunderland. So, Sunderland, plenty of new signings and a plethora of pre-season friendlies on the horizon.
Yes, good use of plethora.
Yeah, very lovely word, plethora.
Yeah.
You know, you can never get enough of plethora, really. If I could have a plethora of words like plethora, I would. But yeah, so anyway, back on topic again. Connor, how are you feeling generally about everything happening on Weir side right now?
I'm really good. I think there's a lot to be excited about. The signings, I mean, there's a few of them that's been a bit naff. I think Chris Maguire's probably one that's got the biggest question mark over him. But apart from that, I'm happy with the signings we've made. I've seen a lot of people. I often get in my mentions, "Oh, we've never fucking seen him play." I was like, I'm sorry, right? But you can use stuff like YouTube to watch players. Like you can learn a lot from reading scout reports. That's why scout reports exist. That's why people research players. That's why we have the articles talking to Hibs fans asking about Dylan Magooch. That's why we have them. So
do you say it Magooch? Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
No, it's McGeoch.
I was thinking Magouch.
McGolf.
There we are. There's 4 different
I just
opinions.
like the idea of having
Tremendous.
Gooch and love.
It's like McGeoch, like
Gooch
Dylan
and
McGeoch.
Yeah, McGeoch.
Well, Dylan.
McGeoch.
McGeoch.
Got to say it in a Scottish accent. McGeoch.
McGurk.
Something like that.
That wasn't really Scottish.
No,
anyway,
sorry, Dylan. If you do ever listen to this,
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you're going to be a wonderful player for Sunderland. We're all very much looking forward to you.
Please don't base your opinion on Sunderland on this podcast. You know, we're 4 lay people who can't speak English, or Scottish, as the case may be.
But back to the point, though. You can use things like judge players, read scout reports, read what other fans are saying, watch YouTube videos.
Gammons can't use mice.
What?
Gammon? How is a gammon going to use a mouse? Doesn't have hands.
A gammon using that? I just lost that one.
I don't think you get what
That's
gammon
over
is.
my head.
Yeah.
Is it the gammon, the Brexit thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew
It's
that.
the gammons who are shouting at you about Maguire.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
see.
good. Oh, I get you now. Yeah, it is. So yeah, people are whinging because I put a tweet up about McGeoch. Yeah, saying that I'd never seen him play. Which, to be fair, I have seen him play because it's on Sky. Like, you can watch Scottish football.
He looks a really good player. That looks a proper sign in that. I was following this like Scottish football site 2.1, And they're a really good site, actually. And it's behind a paywall, so I just signed up for like a 2-day trial or something for free and then cancelled it just to read that article.
Fair enough.
But they were basically saying like it's a really good signing for Sunderland. And he used to be a winger, but he's cut inside and dropped deep now. He's not really like a final third through ball sort of guy, get tons of assists, but he's the one who's going to dictate play, get his foot on the ball and just control the game from deep, a deep line playmaker, which is what we've missed since probably Key, maybe Mvia.
Yeah.
Well, Kirchhoff. We haven't had anyone like that in a long time, especially last year.
Catamol believes he's that.
Catamol tries to be that.
He tried to be that. He
Catamol
picks the ball up in centre mid and then hits one out of play.
Hey, 2014 Catamol.
Yeah, Catamol and Apoyet was great.
Yeah.
Before that and after that, he was just a shithouse.
Oh, aye.
But like that's what McGeoch's supposed to be. And this like site that were basically saying like it's a brilliant signing for us. And like the way I say, without being too pessimistic for Sunderland, like he's too good for League One, and they were obviously from a Scotland national team perspective for Scottish. They were worrying like you've got players like Armstrong playing in the Premier League. He's got Celtic, like top division championship. I mean, they Scott McTominay, like all these players are now centre midfielders who are playing higher level football, and they were just worried about his decision to move down to League One. I mean, obviously they don't know that we're going to smash these jobbers and win 46 games in a row.
Without conceding a single shot on target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like I can see where they're coming from. Like they say it might not be the best moves for him because they worry about the level of football he's going to be playing at. But for us, it's a brilliant sign. And they basically said like for Sunderland, it's unbelievable they've signed him.
Yeah, McGouch won't be
Apparently
joining.
turned down Rangers, Aberdeen, and Championship clubs.
Yeah, McGouch won't be joining under the impression that he's joining a League One club. He's going to see us more as a provisional
pronounce it
championship
differently
club.
every single time.
Yeah, I think we should all say our own one. I like McGouch. McGouch
like
works for me. Yeah, McGouch.
Yeah, but I like.
Right,
it
what's
just
yours,
makes
Chris?
sense, yeah.
McJeff.
Tremendous.
Because that's actually how it's written, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's like Jogv.
No, it's
It's
CH,
GEO. Is it CH?
Yeah.
McGeoch.
There's no F's in it.
Jesh.
Jesh.
McJesh.
McJesh. I've got a clue.
We're going to put a little Turkish
Jesh.
twiddle on the C, and it's
Yeah.
going to be McJesh.
McJesh.
Great.
Fair enough.
Like Öztürk.
Mm-hmm.
His
Yeah.
mate.
Is that how you say
Öztürk.
that?
What?
Is that how you say it?
Ozturk.
Öztürk. Alim Öztürk.
Is that how you say
It's
it?
like a soft zzz. It's got the little thing on.
Yeah.
Zzz.
Nice soft zh.
I just have to wait for them to score a goal and
It's
then
like a
the announcer
vibrator.
again.
Yeah.
I want to really sign Alan Yom.
Why?
It
Why?
sounds like a car going really fast.
when he runs past it.
Apart from that, no, I think he's terrible. But
No, I mean class in League One.
Do you reckon he like mutters that as he like runs past like
you hear it.
defenders and nyum?
He's sit close to the pitch. He runs past.
Nyum. Yeah.
Fuck! What was
It's
that?
just in your ear as you're going past this. A red and white blur.
Fucking done.
Tremendous stuff.
Red and white blur. That reminds me of Bernd Haas.
Good,
Speaking
good
of-
player. I used to find that hilarious that we had a guy called Bernd Haas.
Yeah. With South Korea at the 2010 World Cup. The right back was all bum suck.
I did not know that. But now I do, and I'm very thankful for knowing it.
Oh, bum suck.
I used to like Darren O'Dear. That's like a simple shit name as well.
Yeah.
Like O'Dear. He was
Still-
a crap footballer.
Danny Shitu, classic.
Danny shit. Yeah,
Stern
that's a
John,
good
my winner, I have to say.
Oh, it's
He's
Stefan-
big,
Stefan
he's
Kuntz.
fast, his first name should come last, Stern John. That was Fulham's chant that I don't think we ever took, but
They
I
had it
wish
for
we
Collins
did.
John as well.
Collins John,
Sang
yes. Oh,
I love
names,
good football
very
chants,
good
mate.
names.
Like the Bobby Zamora one that Fulham had as well.
Aye.
When the
Yeah.
ball hits your head and you sit in Rosette. That's Zamora.
Oh, that was class, that.
Two
Remember
best chants ever were Scotland versus Italy in a friendly, and the Scottish fans started singing, "We're going to deep fry your pizzas." Love that.
I like putting Bolton away.
Bolton away when they've just been confirmed relegated to League One. K Sarah Sarah, whatever will be, we're going to Shrewsbury.
Tremendous.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm good. We
That's
didn't rip
good.
that off. Let's see.
No.
I was. I remember
Well,
somebody.
we may not be able to have that, you know what I mean? The Shrewsbury
Oh,
were going
Shrewsbury
up,
might
weren't
well
they?
have went up, yeah, that's true.
One of my old uni mates, a massive Bolton fan, so two of
He's
them
only
went.
bring his weight into it. Fucking hell.
He's a massive Bolton fan. He's a Newcastle fan with NUFC tattooed there. He was just huge.
Just a huge mag man.
He buys 2 seats, you know.
Does he?
2 season tickets. He doesn't fit in one.
So that means their attendance is wrong.
Hey. The Bolton fans just like when Zat Knight plays, they sing it's the rhythm of Zat Knight.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Very good.
It's the rhythm of that night.
Yeah.
We need to think of a song for Jack Ross, but it's just so difficult with 2 monosyllabic names.
Yeah.
Like Jack Ross just doesn't.
Just Jack Ross, just chanting.
Downtown.
Unison.
Yeah, the problem with Jack Ross is that name is that like it's so like monosyllabic. You've only got 2 syllables in there, Jack Ross, and there's a surprisingly small amount of chance of that work for. You know, you'd think the less syllables, the easier it'd be, but it's just not the case.
Anyway, we vastly went away from transfers. I haven't even talked about John McLaughlin.
We haven't fallen far from the tree. I think we can climb back on it.
Well, now you can make up a song about a new transfer, then we can get back on it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you do that. I'll sit over here.
Right. So yeah. Anyway, friendlies. Who were we playing and in what?
Oh, how are you? Come on.
St Mirren for the Skullduggery Derby.
We've changed in some of the dates.
Darlow, obviously. I'm sure.
Oh, there's going to be some
We're playing Grimsby, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hartlepool,
of course.
Darlow.
All the staples. No, I said Darlow.
Thing is that they're changing loads of the dates because of the World Cup.
Darlow's got moved back to the Tuesday.
And then Hartlepool will likely because it'll fall on the day of the World Cup final, I think.
I will.
Oh, will it?
Yeah.
Shit.
No, I've heard they're actually going to move the World Cup final date in a clash with Sunderland Hartlepool.
Just got me a Hartlepool ticket as well.
They were saying on what was it on Sky Sports News today that Liverpool fans were complaining because they're playing Chester on the quarter-final day this weekend, and they won't change it.
That's a wound, that.
And now, like Chester must be losing an absolute shit ton of money because their ground would be full for once, and then nobody's actually going to turn up.
I don't know what the decision is there, but I wouldn't really know.
Didn't think about that.
That's Klopp. That he's probably just because he's proper.
So when's the Darlow match now? Is it put back?
Tuesday.
Put forward? I don't even know.
Tuesday.
I've got tickets for them. I don't even know what day they're on. Got a St Mirren one as well. Can't wait to go to Paisley and rock the place.
And I go to Paisley in my Paisley. Have a tremendous time.
One of my mates is actually a St Mirren shareholder.
Right. Nice.
Don't know why. I think he just bought it because they were selling the shares off to all the fans. Who just, I'll just buy his share for St Mirren.
Oh, you may as well.
So sell it when they're like Champions League
winners. Still do that, don't they?
Yeah, Portsmouth doing that. They're fan owned. Swansea are, well, Swansea were, but they're not anymore. They've got like a few like little shares or something. That's it.
They sold it off for the new owners because they're all kicking off about what's his face? What's his name?
Hugh Jenkins.
Jenkins, that's all.
There is a ceiling with fan-owned clubs, though, isn't there? Like, there's only really a certain point you can get to.
I think it's like something that the people at the top who want to sell to make a shit ton of money say, but I think ultimately teams like Swansea were doing very well fan-owned, like they were mid-table Premier League, and then they've sold it, and now they're in the Championship. So it suggests to me as though a well-run club is the way forward, irrespective of who owns it.
I think they'll get investment either way. So you get even fan-owned clubs get investment from outside investors and hedge funds and whatever. Like Swansea got investment from Swansea are owned by some weird people. I think
those American owners now.
Yeah, there's loads. I think is it Will Ferrell is like a owner at Swansea or something like that. Like Natalie Portman or some weird like American actor.
Nice.
Oh, not American. It's like some Hollywood actors like a shareholder at Swansea for some reason.
Just a bunch of very bizarre candidates and non-footballing people.
Yeah.
Isn't Will Ferrell in with David Beckham? No, he's not like LAFC, is he? Yeah. That's good.
Rightio then. Where are we at?
I'm impressed with the signings so far. Like the signings, like 3 or 4 of them are really good coups. Like I think McLaughlin, McGeoch,
McLaughlin's huge.
Are both SPL team of the season players. Like they shouldn't be playing in League One, so that's pretty much a good coup. I think Turk's going to come really good. Apparently he's a smart defender, pretty pacey and good on the ball. Now some fans in Scotland were saying that he's not the best in the air, which is a bit of a worry going into League One. But as long as we get some shit outs alongside him.
Yeah, when you drop down to the Championship from the Premier League, you tend to find that quality gets substituted for just sheer physicality. So I think logic would dictate that if you go down another division, more quality gets substituted for more physicality.
Otherwise, why would Akinfenwa have the goal scoring record?
Yeah, exactly. I
think you're going to notice like a huge difference in the quality from Championship to League One. I think it's it must be the biggest jump in football and any jump between leagues.
Bigger than the Premier League to the Championship.
Far bigger. You think about the top end of the Championship are Premier League clubs. You know, teams like Middlesbrough, Villa are spending like Premier League clubs.
Who went up and down.
Yeah,
like the 3 Premier League promoted teams to the Premier League stayed up. The 3 teams who were relegated from the Championship went back up again into the Championship.
Yeah.
Like I think the gap between like the Championship now is basically just the Premier League 2. The amount of money that's in it, the quality that's in it, the foreign players that are now in it. I mean, look at Wolves last season. They
you mean Porto?
You're
about to say Porto.
I mean, their transfer budget is basically just like let's go scout Portugal.
Yeah, didn't they just sign Rui Patricio?
Yeah.
Wolves.
They've just signed Neves. Has just signed new deals.
They've been linked with a Portuguese right back for like 40 odd.
Yeah. I saw that. Who was that?
I don't know.
He's the one who was playing the World Cup, wasn't he?
They're linked with the striker as well, Silva, who plays
Andre Silva. Yeah,
they're linked with him.
That is.
But like that shows like the gap between the Premier League and Championship is much less now, I think, than the gap between Championship League One. I think the highest budget in the Championship's been like 80 odd mil. It was like Wolves and Newcastle. Highest transfer budget ever in League One is 2.5 million ever.
No, Stuart Donaldson was 7.
Oh, I don't know about that. Like
he said 7 for Wigan and
maybe
Blackburn
it's that. Is he bringing wages and agent fees into account.
Oh, I thought you were talking about wage budget. Sorry, okay.
No,
I
just
think
like
fees on the
transfer
surface.
budget.
Oh, okay, transfer budget.
absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
I saw Leicester spend 2.8 million when they were in. I think that's probably the record.
It's about that, yeah. It's
But
between 2.5 and 3.
They spent theirs though in the January, so they spent nothing in the summer, and then in the January, I presume they were wanting to just reaffirm they were going to go up, so bought a few players.
Yeah, actually, I think maybe
Well,
the jump from the Championship to the Premier League is maybe more significant based on the fact that you're a team coming up playing against some of the best teams in the world. But the line between 20th in the Premier League and first in the Championship is probably getting blurred more and more. You know, as more and more money comes into the lower leagues of football. But yeah, definitely with the bottom end of the Championship and League One, I think you do see teams that are, you know, like, just in terms of general stature, are fairly big. You know, like your Readings and your Hulls, you know, they aren't tiny clubs. And they're at the bottom of the Championship. But then when you look at the upper echelons of League One, you know, you've got some teams there that, you know,
Accrington
are
Stanley.
tin pot. Let's call a spade a spade. You know,
Yeah, the small clubs. I mean, yeah, I think the League One has some elements of like non-league
Elephants.
teams. Elephants.
thought you said
Non-league
elephants.
teams can get into
Yeah.
League One. Like that sort of shows that the top end of non-league is essentially the bottom of League One. Like
Yeah.
that can be where you aspire to if you're a team like Gateshead, Hartlepool. Them
Yeah,
sort
Well,
of
you can
teams
see
aspire
the way
to League One
teams, the way teams bounce up and down in between seasons. Like Carlisle were
Yeah.
pushing for automatic, should have been pushing for automatic promotion this season. They dropped
I
off
think there's
dramatically.
like 3 or 4 teams in League One whose highest ever level have been League One, but they've been in like Tier 6, Tier 5, like in non-league.
Accrington and Stanley, Yeovil Town, you know, there's some absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeovil got in the Championship.
They did, yeah.
But if you look at the top end of the the top end of the Championship, like every single Championship team who's going to be in the playoffs has probably got 6 Premier League players. 6 players who are capable of playing the Premier League, who Premier League teams. would
Even
want.
Sunderland
But
had players capable of playing the Premier League.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if players
Don
like
Love,
Don Love.
best player.
But
Only
Oviedo
Don Love.
could end up with a Premier League team. It wouldn't shock me if he ended.
No,
I'm
no,
not saying he's necessarily good enough, but it wouldn't shock me if a team like Cardiff went for him.
Have the financial details about Oviedo been made public knowledge, or is that
Oh,
just...
well done. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But well done if it wasn't. Oh, we have information we are not telling you.
No, it's
Yeah,
on
it
the
is.
site. It's on the site.
42
Yeah.
grand a week.
Yeah.
£42,000
Yeah,
a
that
week.
is crippling. He
David
has to go.
Moyes thought it was a good idea to commit the club to spend £14 million in
Yeah.
that. Idiot.
And we also need to discuss how he also signed Jolyon Lescott, and he's also a ginger Scottish twat.
Can we just not discuss him?
That's fantastic,
Yeah,
yeah.
Frisp.
I'm very, very upset.
Sorry,
just
he's
thinking
Scottish.
about him.
But I feel like I have to say now that it's unbelievably ridiculous that a man would come out and say, you know what, I can't sign players to keep us up, but I'm also going to spend 42k a week on a left back of all positions. You know,
He's been injured for the last 2 years.
yeah.
Do you think in hindsight, like we got the January of that season, I know we had a good December which kind of blurred it, because in December I think we're sort of maybe just outside the relegation zone. Do you
We
think
won
if the
3 games
club
from 4 and that little
had
nice
sent
run.
the fans an open letter, a statement saying like, right, we aren't going to invest in January, we are going to sell Jermaine Defoe for this price because we need to recoup money if we go down. It looks like we're going to go down. And do you think fans obviously would have kicked off, but do you think they would have accepted it more? It would have been far better
Now,
for the club.
yes.
There's
If you
nothing.
look back
Yeah,
now.
there was.
Yeah, in
The thing was,
retrospect,
we were
but-
in such a situation where nothing anyone could have done would have made anything any
No.
better,
Yeah.
and everything was going to be shit
Yeah.
no matter
I
what.
think those people who got made redundant might have accepted it. Like the week after, 100 odd people got made redundant, and the team went to New York with Martin Bain. What the fuck was Martin Bain in New York? God knows. And then David Moyes signs a player for £42,000 a week, while 100 people have just lost their jobs. Now it's Premier League football. That's what happens.
Yeah, I
It's
think-
just. I just hate him.
Why did they buy in Dong? Like, who thought that was a good idea? To
David
buy him
Moyes.
for that money?
I want to know why. I want to know exactly why Mvila wasn't a viable option.
Yeah.
And why Ndong was,
I think that
was for
was-
whatever ungodly reason the superior choice.
I think that was
MBA
arrogance.
wanting like 100 grand a
Yeah.
week. Like,
But I think that was just arrogance. Like, managers want their own players in, but he's obviously went and said, look, so he's like, Sam Allardyce's player. I want somebody who I can find and I can bring in, then he's my player.
Kidding what? Allardyce's trusty, reliable Premier League proven player. No. I want my extremely expensive loser. Sorry.
But the thing is, wasn't even Allardyce's player. He
He's
was there
currently
anyway.
AWOL as well.
Yeah.
Ndong and Djilabodji haven't turned up to training. The club are
Class that.
investigating the issue.
I see. I mean,
I like that. It's interesting because I don't think anybody seriously expected them to come in. I think
No.
they probably thought, "Oh, we'll not come in and they won't mind."
But it's now breach of contract, so it's good for the
Yeah.
club.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so
we've
well in,
been
you
praying for
absolute
Rodwell to
losers.
breach his contract for bloody years. Yeah, go on, just do something. Slap a child. Do something. Go on.
Slap a child.
Anything so we can just rip it up.
Yeah.
Who was the team we lost against when Rodwell just knocking about Metro Centre next to those grabby things?
Bristol City, I think.
Is it Bristol City?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I hate that, man.
Caught in the act by the teddy picker.
To be fair though, with Rodwell, like apparently it was a dream to. I mean, the fact is he would have went in January had they just paid him his loyalty bonus then. And the club were like, no, you got to go for free.
So I reckon Rodwell's still here. It's just Reece James is just Rodwell.
Yeah,
he's basically like younger. He looks like Rodwell.
I wouldn't say that though, because then you'll start like
I thought
people
like Chris
going
Coleman.
against Reece James.
Yeah, he's a little bit like Chris Coleman.
More so Coleman than Rodwell. Maybe that's because I don't know. I'm just generally more fond.
He
of
got rid of the goatee. Oh, that's also on Twitter. Were like loving Reece James. So much so that the club had to release more images of him so people could look at him.
It's good that like.
Good looking guy.
Now that is club fan interaction at its finest.
Right, I think I don't really have much time left, so we're gonna have to whiz
right,
through, like,
let us
Twitter
move
questions.
swiftly on, slightly abruptly, to the Twitter questions. So we'll start with Mighty Mackhams, who said, "Do you guys feel England actually have a chance to get to the final? Bear in mind that Sweden were shocking yesterday, and Russia and Croatia, whilst threatening, aren't the most robust teams left."
It's coming home.
Yes, it's coming home. We'll start with you, Connor.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The path is clear. The teams in front of her aren't that great. Croatia's a bit of a worry, but I have a feeling watching them.
I don't know. Against I know Argentina were a bit disappointing, but
Croatia were awful against Denmark.
But I just worry. The worry with Croatia is like we're essentially lined up with one proper centre mid at the minute with Henderson. Then we've got two players next to him who are sort of more attacking. When he goes against Modric and Rakitic, like it's going to be frightening.
But I'd be interested to see. I'd be interested to see what maybe Delph could do in that midfield instead of Lingard or Ali. Like maybe if Ali's injured, I would trust Loftus-Cheek.
I would keep two of the attack midfielders in there.
Yeah, I would keep
Croatia's Modric and Rakitic are brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. But Croatia are crying out for a defensive midfielder. Brozovic is not a defensive midfielder, and for some reason he doesn't play Milan Badelj, who is a very competent defensive midfielder. He only played. I think he played in the third game.
Yeah,
against whoever that was, Costa Rica or something.
He'd have to play
Iceland.
because
Iceland. That was it. Yeah, he played against Iceland. But like, if Modric and Rakitic both want to do the same job, Brozovic as well, they're all like kind of like and Kovacic, all four of them are brilliant players, but they're all like players who want to get on the ball and be an advanced playmaker. They don't like to sit deep,
No.
And they leave gaps in behind. They gaps in behind all the time. Croatia's got a good defence, but there's a massive gap into exactly the spaces where Lingard and Ali run into. Those inside channels where England have got so much to enjoy from.
I think if we played against Croatia, you'd expect to see like a man of the match performance from Henderson, because he'll have the ability in his position just to like once all he needs to do is get past like that one, they make that one step, give him that space, and there'll be channels open all over the pitch for him.
Yeah, and I know Subasic as well. Subasic is like, he made some great penalty saves against Denmark, but he's not a great keeper. He's always been error prone throughout his career, and I think he makes like 3 or 4 errors leading to goals every single year at Monaco. I'm saying that.
Yeah, so like we can shoot from distance though. I mean, we've got the players like Lingard, Ali, Kane. They can all shoot from distance. I think Henderson can as well. To be fair, I mean, how Henderson hasn't scored more goals from outside the box it baffles me, the amount of like quality strikes he's
against
had.
Tunisia or Panama. We had that lush shot.
Tunisia, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's really nice.
It might have also been Panama, to be fair. Like,
but yeah, I think we'll get through the final. Like, I think I'd obviously take one game at a time. Sweden are going to be tough to break down, really tough to break down.
Yeah,
but I think our set piece is such a threat, such a threat, and teams are scared. Teams are so scared. Like, I think it's twice now where or 3, even Tunisia games should have been a penalty where they've threatened that much. They've got to employ dirty tactics, because our players, they're not even like, it's not even like the brick shit houses are brutes. They're just so clever, intelligent, and good when they get on the end of the ball, good in the air.
You can see we've not just scored the same set piece every single time. We've done it differently every single time.
Delivery.
Like, you can see the movement, like you called, but the tunnel of love that we had. The way that moves, and the way that you see
one was the
Stones against Panama where he ran into the box, and then
brilliant. That
just
out wide the Henderson. No, it was like a ball around the side, over to Kane, back across, Sterling, shoot. I was made to get Sterling a goal. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish it. But like, that movement is absolutely brilliant, and it's Steve Holland, and there's another guy, England's attacking coach. Scottish fella, somebody Russell, I can't remember his first name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And these two work on that all the time, and they've got like this. If you look at Steve Holland, he's always got this like ring binder book with everything in, and basically every single move in football is a set piece in England's game. Even away from set pieces, they know exactly who's where at that time. There was one part yesterday where John Stones played a ball out wide to Danny Rose later on, and didn't even look, like banged it first time, side of his foot, and it went just out of play. But that's because Danny Rose is like 4 or 5 yards too high up the pitch. It wasn't actually Stones' fault, but he done that without looking, He should have looked, but he did that without looking because he expected him to be like everything's a set piece.
And that's because Rose had just come onto the pitch and he wasn't up to speed with the game yet. He wasn't concentrated, he wasn't fully locked in, which is upsetting, but it's not his fault. I also feel like we're going to get against Sweden, we're going to get a lot of frustrating moments where Stones takes the ball up a few yards and then turns around and passes it back.
Well, actually,
I thought he could have done better yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like that was an issue with Stones. He would bring it forwards, he would look and go, oh, well, there's no one there, and it's like, well, no, there is. They'll just have to take the ball under pressure.
He was like, Falcao was on him all the time.
Yeah.
It was when they realised that Falcao was man-marking Stones, they let Maguire do that job, and Maguire ran out of defence really effectively.
Well, the thing that they weren't doing is they weren't trusting those midfielders. When you've got Lingard and Ali and Henderson in midfield, and you're bringing the ball up as a centre-half, even if it looks like they're under pressure, you've got to give them the ball under pressure, because every position on the pitch from that point is going to be under pressure, so you've got to give it to them. You can't just go like, oh, well, there's someone there, you'll lose it, and then turn around and give it back.
Colombia's approach to isolating Henderson was actually really impressive, because Quintero and Cuadrado kind of dropped a little. Quintero and Cuadrado, like, they changed roles, and one of them would stay up next to Falcao in attack, while the other one would go a bit deeper and a bit more central, but in defence they would both drop back either side of Falcao and basically cut off the angles of the passing lanes into Henderson and isolated him. Now Henderson still had a good game because he moved around that with his ability to just shoot pure stamina and a bit of pace, actually.
Just sheer dog-headedness, he just doesn't give in.
Chris, I'm going to jump back to what you said just there, because we are a little bit wary of time about Sweden. Now, the next question comes from someone called John Other Mackham, who asks, what, if anything, should we be afraid of when we play Sweden? You were alluding to this just there. Could you maybe elaborate a bit more?
So they set up in such a traditional 4-4-2, like the two banks of four that Alan Hansen will be tossing himself out when he's watching. So they'll set up with that two banks of four, and we'll have three at the back with the two strikers sort of following it around. So you can move the ball away from the two strikers and bring it forward. Great. We'll bring it over the halfway line, and then suddenly you'll look and you'll think like, right, where's Henderson and where's Dele Alli, and where's Lingard? And you'll look up and you'll see them surrounded by yellow shirts, and that's exactly what's going to happen every time you bring the ball forward. You'll end up like Sterling will be dropping deep looking for the ball. It's going to be a really, really frustrating one. It's all about patience, and we're going to have to take risks. Sweden want us to. They want us to take risks so they can try and catch us on the counter.
Oh yeah.
You've just got to trust each other and really take the risk, throw the ball into where the feet of Lingard and make him turn and run at them. See if he can give the ball, because even if we just fire the ball into the feet of Harry Kane if he comes deep, if Kane can turn and pick up a foul 35 yards out and we can get a free kick out of it, that's better than taking it back.
I think as well with Sweden is maybe they're already aware of this, maybe they're not, but they'll try it regardless. But the fact of the matter is that England really have never been able to break down a team that's happy to just sit back. We saw it against Tunisia. And really, I think we're the architects of that problem. When we play friendlies, we always seem to play against fellow European teams of a similar calibre, in which we'll play end-to-end football because we're both evenly matched. But then when it comes to big tournaments, we'll play against a team that's significantly lacking in quality, that know they're only going to beat us by soaking up pressure, frustrating, hitting us on the counter. And I think that really is our biggest weakness. We are just not adept in dealing with a team that's happy to sit back in that way. I mean, all I can think of when I say that is 0-0 Algeria, South Africa 2010.
That was horrendous.
Yeah, we just absolutely couldn't get going. We ran out of ideas from the get-go. They stopped us doing everything. There was a bird perched on the Algerian goalpost in the second half because obviously it realised it wouldn't be disrupted at all at any point during whatever it was doing.
If we're going to talk about things to be afraid of, though, it's the fact that they're defensively strong and they are good at set pieces as well. We're not going to get anywhere near the set piece joy against these. That's what we've had.
Yeah, that's the worry. And the other worry is we've never had to really defend against decent set piece so far this tournament as well.
And the one that we did,
apart from the one where we conceded. However, that was more. The marking could have been better, fair enough, but it wasn't that bad marking. It was just a great jump. Yeah. But Trippier on the back post should have stopped it. He knows he should have stopped it.
It's not often you see though a player headed from the penalty spot and headed actually down and up. It's so difficult to defend.
Trippier said he jumped up to anticipate the ball hitting him. And then the guy headed it into the ground, and then he sort of landed and didn't have time to jump again. And it was interesting because that's fair enough.
It was a funny bounce.
It was not what you expected.
It was a clever header.
Yeah, it was very clever.
But at Sweden, I think I would I was praising Ashley Young, but I think I'd possibly play Danny Rose because Sweden defend very narrow, two banks of four. I think the wing backs are going to be key, getting in behind instead of just getting to the edge of the box and whip it in or cutting it back. They're going to be key, getting to the byline and getting in behind in behind the defence.
Danny Rose did it like two times.
Yeah,
I think.
he nearly scored off one of them. Just brilliant football.
I think that'll be our only chance. It'll be that one where you fire it into Rose and he can pick it into Sterling. And Sterling will be so crucial. Like if Sterling plays well, we'll play really well because he can make our attack tick.
Yeah, and I know Sweden obviously without Ibra, but with Sweden without Ibra our team, it's not just give it to Ibra and hope for the best anymore.
Yeah, there's no more cult of Zlatan. It's just an actual team playing for each other.
Forsberg's going to get the plaudits, but I think their most effective player is actually Victor Claesson on the right. Victor
Claesson's been good.
He hasn't been that good for Claesson. He's been brilliant. He's at Krasnodar, so he plays in Russia, and he was probably like top 3 players in Russia last season. He was absolutely brilliant.
Nichols, how would you say Krasnodar in like Russian?
Krasnodar.
Just like that, is it? I was hoping to be some really strong Russian phonetic sound there. I felt like of all the potential Russian sounds, Krasnodar would have a really strong one.
No, it's just Krasnodar.
Oh well.
But I've literally got 3 minutes. I mean, I can leave and you can finish this.
Right. Well, we'll move swiftly on. This will be the last one. There's a very little one right at the end, but this is the only main question, and it comes from someone called Ryan with the username Deacon Ryan 1234. In regards to Sunderland, even though it's unlikely that the likes of Catamol and Kone, players who obviously want to leave, end up staying, do you see them giving them all on the pitch?
Catamol, yes.
Yeah. Catamol, yes. Kone, definitely not. Kone has never had the sense to play for the shop window. You know, if the transfer window shuts, he won't have the foresight to look towards the next one. He'll just drag his heels. He won't play properly. I mean, we saw he didn't get his move away at the beginning of last season, and he just didn't play football. The logic there was that what should have been there was that if I play as I did when I came in under Allardyce, I can breeze through this division. You know, I can have every single strike in my back pocket, and I can leave for 10 million in January. But he didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was actually injured, but he did have quite a stoppy start.
He seemed knocked up.
No, he's had loads of very dubious bad back injuries. So I don't know what.
The thing is, I think players like Kone, when they get their agents in the ear, and then he obviously doesn't want to be.
Mark Mackay as well, who's a notorious agent.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I mean, when Allardyce signed him, they almost didn't sign him because of the agent. I'm sure it was.
He wanted an agent fee, and I think they put the price up like $5.5 million.
Oh yeah, because his stalling was forever, wasn't it? That transfer.
Well,
it was off at one point.
His father, who he inherited the business from, allegedly every single part of this conversation, but his father was like the one who was done for like tax evasion and fraud and all sorts of like dodgy dealings with Milan Mandaric back in the day.
Right.
Who's
an Amdi Five,
famously a clean guy.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows the character of the Mackays, allegedly.
Tremendous.
But
anyway,
I just don't think Kone's as good as
the question.
Kone as well.
If Kone plays well, Jack Ross is a wizard.
Yeah,
but I don't think Kone is as good as what he looked with Allardyce because he doesn't have Kabul next to him. It was like Bramble for Newcastle when he had Woodgate alongside him. He looked like a world beater when he played alongside Andy O'Brien. He didn't know which was his left foot, which was his right foot.
Yeah, you do sometimes. It's a case of having that guy who can talk to you through it.
Just tell you what to do.
Yeah,
I'd love to see Catamol get his fitness back this season though, because he could be effective.
I don't think so.
I don't think he will. I think Catamol's basically just suffering from starting his career so early and getting so many injections over the years. He's finished.
He's like Wayne Rooney. You get when you start. Catamol was like 17, 16,
Borough captain at 17, 18.
Yeah. You know, you start that young. He's got 15 years, 12, 13 years on the clock now. Is it 28, 29?
Roughly, yeah. I mean, you get 15-year careers, give or take.
Yeah, so he's at the end of his age, sort of is false in that respect.
I think set on Catamol's.
I think he's not leaving, but if he can get his fitness back, he can at least play his part and not be
in League One.
Not be a risk.
You would hope so, really.
Yeah.
I think
you just want to be able to put him in the first team for a Tuesday night game against Bury and trust him not to be responsible for losing.
Last year was the first season where he was pretty much fit every year. Yeah. How many times has that happened before?
He was, but he was just
shit.
He was just.
Did he get sent off last season?
Wolves.
Wolves. Yeah.
Didn't cost well. I was still drew.
No. Yeah, we've got drew 0-0 away at the league champions with 10-man Sunderland.
That was the only team that didn't beat.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, the closing question and the easiest one to answer, I'm sure, comes from G-Lang17. Is it coming home?
Yes.
I will get beaten in the final.
Love England, me.
Chris?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, well, I think that's 3 yeses to 1.
It's interesting.
1 Bromley, no.
Nah, I think we'll get beat in the final. I think it'll be.
I think it's interesting.
That's the spirit.
France, maybe.
It's interesting because the only type of team we haven't played at this World Cup is going to be the type of team we play in the final. So it's like we can be totally ready for like a shithouse performance for anyone.
Yeah.
But then we're going to come up against Brazil, who are going to just try and attack all the way through. It'd be like.
what do you do?
How will they
we'll
respond?
finally get used to incisively breaking down a weaker team.
But you know what the thing
and
is?
we'll forget how to.
Yeah, you know what the thing is?
Play
The reason why I
end-to-end.
believe in them is every single game we've played so far this World Cup, there's been a question mark over England because we've never done it before, and so far we've passed every single test.
Yeah.
Apart from Belgium, which doesn't matter because nobody was trying. So
Like I've said,
we've
for a
passed
while,
every
like,
test we've been given. So why not pass every single one for the rest of the
this
tournament?
team's an impressive team. Like Southgate, the way Gareth Southgate needs the most praise. Like the job that Gareth Southgate is doing is absolutely brilliant. Even after the high of winning the first ever penalty shootout, England's first ever penalty shootout World Cup, here he goes. Look, I'm delighted for that, but thinking about Sweden. It's all in Sweden. Gareth Southgate is a perfect World Cup manager. Like in a World Cup manager, a tournament manager, Coleman didn't do too great with us. Didn't do too great with Fulham. Coventry done terrible.
But he just
but
got the tournament,
that
didn't
sort
he?
of grounded. I mean, I'm going to say that grounded charisma is exactly what we need. You know,
And
he's
do you know what it
focused
is?
entirely on the game in front, and that's his sole focus.
And he's so helped by the squad he's got. He's got this squad who totally down to earth, got great integrity.
Yeah,
you can see Harry
despite their
Kane.
age, he's-
Harry Kane,
yeah,
who's the
that's
why
superstar. He's the
Shelby's not
highest, yeah, he's the highest paid player in the squad, and then he's the one hugging Pickford and that. It's they're together. It's perfect.
And for once, they've actually set up a system instead of just best players hope for the best.
We're getting told off. We're gonna have to stop.
Yeah.
You're getting glances from Brom. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much once again for tuning into the Roker Rapport podcast. Football's coming home, but Gillabodji and Kazri are not. So
boys.
that'll be that.
See you later.
Adios.
Big shout Bams and Amanda. Washington Posse in the house. You ready? New Monkey Massive. I said nothing. Explosion, everybody's dead. What a catastrophe is what's being said. So my job as a wicked MC is to wake up the crowd. I'll make them get lively. So I say, who is this to see? Where's the cocaine, where's the speed? Now everybody's busy. Wait until the kicking of the buzz. You will see what ecstasy does. And the fucking E said. MC Bonners in the places off his fucking head. You ready? And the fucking EC. MC Bonners in the places easy. Easy, it's PC on the mic. MC Bonners day and night, see all the day. Check out the Bumble DJ with the steel. Alert, fucking on me, mighty fine, busting with the baseline. Hold tight, little double in the lunch floor, like Chris Carr. Respect to the MC Bonners inside. You know it. Wish the crew was time to blow it. Yes, sir. Give a coming at ya. Coming up fucking in. DJ Alert's gonna get you moving. Hold tight Billy O'Hare, hold tight Mark O'Hare. Yes, sir. Hold tight MC Mike Rose. Hold tight Dynasty Joe as Castle Town crew. Hold tight Kevin's team, the MC Cosy. Hold tight Leighton Teasdale, hold tight Les Brains. Hold tight Raz Flash, hold tight Matty and Micey. Keep on. Wicked in the wicked, strong. Come on, you know the score, know the way. Checking out your DJ, rocking on the deck. DJ Alert, it's time to show respect. Show respect to my MC, it's all wet and fucking easy. Fucking easy. MC Bonners off his head. Hey, here I am. I just got back from Amsterdam. My mate's had a whore, and I've got stone. When God made MC Bonners, he booked the mold. Ring the bells on that horn, and you made me stop before. MC Bonners has survived, nothing wrong, everything right. Present and correct. Lay your hair down, let's get wrecked. Your kick in. Hold tight Lee Smith. Hold tight Ray Lindsay. Matty Genius, a magic man, he does his magic tricks. His favourite, he gets the beat side, he goes in a mix. He plays a bad boy in, he's got the beat slamming. Matty Genius, a magic man, he's got the dance for jamming. Check out the mixer, DJ Alert. Kicking it to ya, he's kicking it to ya. to be. Checking out the sound of the bad boy posse. Are you ready? Katie Bruce, this one's for you. I am PC Runners and I've got to shut you down. This place is a danger zone and you're